I've been waiting for a long time to have this talk with you. Picture me as a parent saying that to a child right now. It's going to be a key. This talk is going to be a key to your life. And if you really hear what I'm saying, you will no longer be a victim. You will be the person who controls how you experience your life. And it goes back to something that I think we all want, and so I have to start off with the idea of expressing that there's an infinite power, an infinite presence that's always been and always will be, and we call that God, universal mind, spirit. From that universal power and presence, we understand that it created everything out of itself. Therefore, everything is it expressing. So you are, in human terms, a child, a son, or a daughter of the infinite. If you are a child, son, or daughter of the infinite, that would definitely mean that all of it, of the Father, is within you. So every aspect of you is the divine beingness. There's nothing in you that's not divine. There's nothing could be within you that's not divine because everything is it. Okay? So we've come down, we've established the allness, and we've established the individualization, right? So the all is experiencing the individualization through us, which are a part of it. So it's almost the same thing as saying is that this is my body temple, and yet within my body temple, to the best that science is able to determine, there are more than 100 trillion cells in my body. And each one of my 100 trillion cells is having an experience. It is a point of consciousness that is within me. But then collectively, those cells come together, and then this body image of me, this wholer or bigger image of me, this collective image of me has an experience. Now we can take that and grow, so then I partner with my wife, and then together we start having the experience. And then we have children, we partner together, and we have a bigger experience. And then we come into community, and we have a bigger experience. And it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the key thing is, it cannot get too big because there's no limit at the big. Here's the key thing, there's no limit at the small. So it's infinite, it's always infinite. Okay, so we've got this uniqueness in that because we're in the physical body and we have this human mind that understands and sees and knows contrast, because it's through contrast that we build a desire that we're going to express and create from. Because without contrast, how could you create? What would you want? You see, if you don't have a desire for something new, there's no way that you're going to create a desire without contrast. There must be contrast. That's why to think that, that you're going to be pink and transcend, you're going to be enlightened in this planet, I think that's the greatest lie that we've been told. You're going to always have contrast, no matter how in tune to the infinite that you might become. Now, how do you deal with that contrast? That's a key. So I'm going to explore this idea that as children or expressions of the individualization that we call God, the greatest thing we desire more than anything else in the world is freedom. How many people can remember being a teenager? Yeah. And what was the one thing you wanted most when you were a teenager? And what gave you the freedom? A car. Because with a car, you could cruise. You could just cruise down the street. That was the most important. Can I go cruise over here and see if some of my friends can I cruise? Why? Because I was free of the shackles of my mom and dad. You know how mom and dad just want to control you? That's your perception. Really, mom and dad's role is not to control you. It is to guide you so that you don't make too big a mistake, but you're going to make mistakes. And here's the key. As parents, you want your children to make as many mistakes as possible in the house. You want them to make as many mistakes as possible so that they can learn the idea of cause and effect. You did this, here's the effect. But it's done without emotion. Okay, so freedom is the one thing we want more than anything. Now, Can you separate this? Hear this clearly. Can you separate freedom from love? You cannot. They are synonymous. They have to be there. So if I'm going to love Lee, I must give Lee freedom to be Lee. If I'm going to love Jean, I have to give Jean freedom to be Jean. Okay? See, I can't put a restriction on someone if I'm going to love them, because the second I take away freedom, I'm in a non-loving state. Right? So freedom, love. Now, here's the key. Because we're human, there are times in our lives when we desire to have something outside of ourselves in our lives. We desire to be supported. We desire to have a play partner. We desire to do things where it involves more than one. But here's the thing that we do as humans. We assume that the other person knows what we want. Never going to happen. Never, ever, ever, ever going to happen. I'm going on, and God knows, 3 months, less than 3 months, I'll hit 44 years of marriage. 44 years of being with one person. Now, I know this person probably as well as a human can know the person. But think about this. All I know about this person is what has been expressed to me, right? So if what she's expressed to me is all I know, how much is she really expressed to me? Because what do we have during the day? 60,000 thoughts a day? I want you to know I am blessed not to have a wife who shared 60,000 thoughts a day. That would make me crazy. And I know there are people that want to express 60,000 thoughts a day, and I would say, stop. You're going to make someone crazy. But it goes back now to one of the agreements that I have with Jean. And it goes back to this agreement. And this agreement is not an agreement that I just have with my partner, but it's an agreement that I have with everyone in life. And I want you to have this agreement in your life as well. It is that you have to ask for what you want when you want it. You hearing that? So first off, you've got to say to yourself, I now embody the agreement that if I desire something, if I need help, I want to coexist with someone, I want to do a dance, I want to have lunch, I have to take the responsibility to ask and not assume it's coming back to me. And so when I'm in a relationship, I want to have an adult relationship. I don't want to have a fairy tale relationship. I don't want to have a childlike relationship. Anything other than effective communication is not an adult relationship. So in an adult relationship with Jean, we have that agreement that we will ask for what we want when we want it. Now, here's the beauty of that. That sets me free. Can you understand why? Because now I never have to ever guess what she wants. I am free of that aspect where all the time, I wonder what she's thinking. I wonder what she wants. Did I do something? I don't ever have to think about it because why? I have said, you are personally responsible for your life. I am personally responsible for my life. If there's something you need, you must express that to me. If you don't, I am not going to guess. I'm not even going to try to guess. Now think about all the wasted time we've spent in our lives trying to please someone, not knowing what's going to do work. Have you ever done it? My God, it's the most exhausting thing in the world. I once had a girlfriend, and I did everything. I was consumed with having this person love me. And so I did everything, and nothing I did worked. Anyone ever had that where nothing you ever did work? Yes, thank you in the back. I saw that hand. And I always felt stress. Think about that. Just think about what I just said. when I was consumed with the idea of what was going on in this person, I had stress. So if I have an agreement with a person, and it's about, you have to ask for what you want when you want it, and I don't worry about it, have I eliminated stress from that relationship? Whoa. Now, if I've eliminated stress, mentally, how am I going to be? I'm going to be more clear. I'm able to focus on what I need to focus because I'm not dealing with something that I cannot possibly achieve. How am I going to feel emotionally? Emotionally, I'm going to feel absolutely incredible because I'm not worried about something I cannot possibly do. Spiritually, what am I feeling? I am free to be me. I'm free to be authentic. I'm free to be Lee. I'm not worried about something outside of being Lee. Therefore, what's happening, Lee is loving Lee. So in my self-love, I can now be out love with everyone I meet. So, but here's the key I want to share with you. It's not about just having this agreement with a partner or with a child. It's setting up this agreement with everyone in your life. So if you're going to have a relationship with anyone, you want to really clearly define that we have this adult relationship. And if there's anything that I ever need from you, rest assured I will ask. And if you turn me down, that's okay, because remember, the person you're asking has the right to say no. So we're not invested in that. We can ask. That's all we're doing. Now here's the thing. I'm going to bring it to this community. I'm the senior teacher at Agape, principally because of my education. So I'm the senior minister, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, and I'm a counselor. I don't know where you are in any moment. But if you need me and you ask me, I'll be there for you. Did you hear that? If you need me and you ask for me, I'll be there. If you need a practitioner like Jean or Deb, Luann, Susie, Jean, if you need a practitioner, ask for one of them. They will be there. So many times in community what happens is we get into the doldrums. Something happens where we need assistance and we don't reach out and ask. I'm simply going to say this. When we don't reach out and ask, we're denying the divine spark within us to come forward, to be heard and celebrated and supported. You feeling that? So it's about asking. Why not ask? Weren't we brought into this world to ask? Aren't we brought in? Didn't Jesus say, this I have and you can have and more? Ask and ye shall receive. Do you hear those words right from the Bible? Ask and ye shall receive. The key is, it is done unto you as you believe, but you got to ask. You see, you can believe all you want. I can believe that Gene can read my mind. But in the human form, it's not going to happen. It's like I could try to go read Donald Trump's mind. I can't read his mind. I've tried to read Hillary's mind. I can't read her mind. I've tried to read Gary Johnson's mind. I can't read his. I tried to read Jill Stahn's mind. I can't read theirs. So many times we take the surface of what we see and we build things. But when we want to have a true relationship, a deep relationship, a meaningful relationship, people who are going to be our support group, that we're going to allow. See, I look at life like this, is I have an energy bubble. And the energy bubble that I have around me is made up of all the thoughts that I've created. And I create an energy bubble that I love to be in. Yesterday, I'll share with you. One of the great things that I brought back when I was in Peru, when I was in the jungle on this hut that I had, there was this hammock. And I learned to love this hammock. I spent like 13 hours a day in this hammock. And I would meditate, I would do affirmations, I would read, I would daydream, I would visualize. And yesterday was the most perfect day, wasn't it? Not too hot, not too cold, sun, shade, gentle breeze. So what did I do? I went inside and I took out this brand new double hammock that I've been saving for the perfect day. And I put it between these two perfect trees, and it hung just at the right level. I got on it with my most perfect pillow, and I lied there. At first, I meditated for 10 minutes, and then I started reading a spiritual book. And then while reading that book, the book was talking about how in every moment, the key to life is feeling in every moment. Feeling that the cells in your bodies are moving right now. Feeling that your body is regenerating itself in this moment. Feel how the interaction of the earth, the breeze, the sun, everything is just being with you. You could feel everything on your skin. You felt yourself alive. You weren't doing anything. You were just lying in this hammock alive. And then you just sort of moved a little bit. You got the hammock moving back and forth. So you got a little bit of a rocking sensation. And you realized in that moment, it was so good to be alive. And no one else was necessary. You see, in reality, we don't need anyone else. But also in reality, we came into this form to experience everyone else, to have an interaction with other people. So you see, there's a duality that we experience in life. We've got both of these things we're experiencing. We have an inner desire that wants to be alone, that wants to connect with something far greater within us. There is this calling that says, I really want to be with me, and that's where meditation comes in. The stillness of being there and just feeling, really going within and feeling the cells of your body, feeling no thought, feeling yourself just connected with all that is. But then there's the other side where we desire to interact, to connect. Last night I got the beautiful opportunity to again bring together in marriage two of our community members. And I love doing a wedding ceremony. I absolutely love doing wedding ceremonies because one of the things that I share in the wedding ceremony is that when I'm doing the vows that I've written, I ask the people, never look at me. This is a time where you look at your partner and you look into their eyes so you can see the soul. And when I'm there and I'm reading these vows about what it means to love and to support and to cherish, and to really commit yourself to this. And you see these eyes, and you feel the love. You could feel like there's a bubble coming around. It is the most beautiful, beautiful experience you can ever imagine. And you see, that's the relationship we want. Not just with our marriage partner, or a life partner, or with a family member, but when you're engaged in a conversation with someone, think about if you create that energy bubble. I know I'm the individualization of God. I know this person is the individualization of God. Let's connect at the heart level. Let's be open. Let's communicate effectively, clearly. Let's not play guessing games. Let's not create drama. Let's be present. And how can we, and here's the only reason we come together, support and grow each other. And how can we support and grow each other, and while we're doing it, have a little fun? Make light of it. You see, most of the time we think about support and growth and we think about the fact that it's got to be hard, it's got to be difficult. And remember, being hard and difficult is what? It's a human perception created within our own mind based on a belief structure that we've blindly accepted from the past, either from church, from schools, from religions, from politics, or wherever. It's a belief structure that's been fed to us. Now, we can create another belief structure real quickly. And that belief structure is that everything I experience is serving my highest quality growing. It's serving me becoming more, it's me becoming more love. So therefore, when I see everything as on my way and not in my way, I can be fully present no matter what the situation is, and I'll find the good. And you see, when you find the good in every situation, when you can see everything good that's happening, now you're seeing life through the divine eyes. Because the divine doesn't see pain and suffering. The divine just sees itself flowing. The divine sees itself in balance. You see, there's a positive and negative charge in the universe, in everything. In the smallest of atoms, there's a positive and negative. And if you take a battery and you cut it in half, guess what? There's still a positive and negative, even though you've cut it in half. Every situation in human form, in this physical world, there is positive and negative. The divine only sees in the middle where it's balanced. So when you want to come into balance, when you want to come into a state of the divine, that's where meditation flows, where you get into the place where there is no thought, you're not attached to this or that, but you're right here. And that's the power to create. When you're connected at that divine moment, you can create anything. That's why we teach meditate twice a day. I say that over and over and over and over and over again. And sometimes people get it, sometimes they don't, and people will get it when they get it. Oh, Rev Lee, I had so much to do. I've only meditated 3 times this week. And I said, well, then obviously you probably had a pretty difficult week. Well, I did. I said, but I got so much to do. Here's what you got to understand is that when you meditate, when you still the mind, when you get rid of all the monkey chatter, and you've got so much to do, meditate even a little longer, get clearer, and when you come out, your mind is so clear, so focused, you'll accomplish 10 times what you normally can accomplish in the same period of time, and you'll finish faster, doing 10 times the work. You see, that's the secret, but we won't buy it because we're caught up in what? The humanness. We're caught up in the humanness. I'm caught up in the doingness of life. I'm caught up in the doingness of life. Oh, wait a second. She should know what I'm thinking. He should know what I'm thinking. They should be able to come to me. I expect them to call me any moment. No. Be still, ask. Be still, ask. Pretty simple, isn't it? The most profound spiritual teachers that I come in contact with in the world teach the most simple message. If the message is complex, realize it's probably not true. Because what happens is the rational mind, the mind that can rationalize anything, comes into place and starts doing this dance. And when we follow that rational mind will take us down a path and we won't like it. But when we listen to our heart, which has intelligence, it's proven over and over again, there's a heart center that has intelligence, it knows. It doesn't need logic. It knows what is right. And when we get still and we say, what is mine to do, the heart will guide us. So today, what I talked about is this. Your individualized expressions of God. You're whole and perfect, just as you are. And you're in human form right now. So when you want something, ask. Don't assume, ask. And it will be given. Let's pray. I want to thank you for joining us today. I am so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask you to go to our website. Once there, click on the Contribute button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to the world. I would also ask you to please share this message with anyone you feel might benefit. Again, I want to thank you for joining me and the Agape community as together we bring joy to life.